Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another TBL Season 6 Team Builder. So this week we are on week 8, which is incredible. I don't know how we've got this far already. It's scary. We are battling Playmaker this week with the Atlanta Victory Stars. Now the Atlanta Victory Stars, I can't remember what they were when I battled them before. I don't think they were called that. And yeah, they have won twice against us. We won once against them. We were one of their only defeats, possibly their only defeat in the third season of the TBL. I can't remember if that's true entirely. That might not be true. I think someone else might have defeated him as well. But yeah, Playmaker is a phenomenal battler. Absolutely fantastic battler. Just, I can't underestimate him because I know how capable he is at battling. He is absolutely fantastic. My team, I am really unsure with. Honestly, it's going to depend on a lot of me making good predictions. I haven't got the capabilities to be making mistakes. That's kind of how it comes down to with this team, because he's got Victini, can be a problem, especially if Rapidash is down and Rotom's down. Togekiss, if it's Scarf Kiss, then it can be really annoying, like Air Slash Flinches maybe. Umbreon is just a pain in the backside to deal with regardless. I haven't got anything that can like damage out huge amounts of damage of it straight off. It's quite difficult to kind of get through to it, but hopefully I've got a couple of ideas. Dragalge, which again, it can come in and drop a Draco and just really put some pressure on my team. And I am not bringing Alcremie. I very almost brought Alcremie, but I decided not to kind of at last minute, like, well, a couple of hours ago, but I decided to change that up because Alcremie, I just didn't feel that it was working, because I go into Alcremie to take the Draco, and he just goes for Sludge Wave, and then at that point I'm just kind of having to switch between things. So I just really didn't want to do that, because again that just makes more predictions, and after I've done that once, it just gets more and more risky. Escavalier, now he could try and set up a Trick Room. I'm not sure if any of his, I know Victini gets Trick Room. I know he has brought Trick Room, Room Service Victini a few times. That could definitely be something that comes. So Escavalier under that condition could do quite a bit of damage to my team. Yeah, Escavalier gets quite a few. Well, it has base 135 speed, which is not 35 speed, 135 in its attack, which is absolutely huge. And it's really bulky as well. Like, not many things I can do can take it out in one hit. It's base 105 in both its defenses. I can't remember what its HP is, but it's quite difficult to take down, even with a 4 times weakness to fire, which is really annoying. Really annoying. We've got Archeops here. Now, Archeops could definitely come here. I have got like Rotom Wash to deal with it. I've got a few moves kind of here and there that deal with it relatively okay. Shifu Rapid Strike could be a problem, especially if it's banded. Honestly, I have 2 things that outspeed the Urshifu, and one of them probably goes down to a banded Aqua Jet. So yeah, it's not particularly good. Spiritomb, I suppose, can do something with it, and if I've got Speed Raise on Excadrill, then again, it can do something, but it's difficult to deal with. It's definitely difficult to deal with. We've got Silvally, which Silvally is just one of those mons that it can do a lot of different things, so it's very difficult for me to prep for it. And I've just kind of covered all the bases that I can. I've had a look at all the colours of Silvally, just in case he does bring it, because it could be a problem for me. Dubwool. Now, Dubwool, Spiritomb kind of deals with quite easily. The only thing that Dubwool actually gets that can hit me is Wild Charge or Grassy Glide. Probably more likely to see Grassy Glide for the Rotom Wash, but Spiritomb can kind of deal with it if need be, assuming that it comes. I'm not sure if it comes. And then finally Gastrodon. Gastrodon actually can it actually cause problems for me, honestly. Dragonite, obviously, it's got Scald to burn me, it's got Ice Beam to hit me for a lot of damage, and Rotom Wash, whilst Rotom Wash kind of walls it, it can have like Sludge Wave on it, specifically for the Alcremie, but also that hits Rotom Wash with it, which the Scald does next to nothing, and same the ground type attacks do nothing. Rotom Wash, I have had to do a little bit of different tech on it, minutely different tech on it, and the Gastrodon, yeah, can be a problem if I leave it unchecked. I think it definitely comes. I think Gastrodon is 100% the one that comes. You've got Victini, 100% comes. Togekiss, 100% comes. So definitely those 3. I'd say Escavalier probably comes as well. Yeah, my team could quite easily get swept by an Escavalier and Trick Room. So that's 4 of the ones that I'm predicting. Dragalge probably comes just for that really strong offense. Urshifu probably comes as well. But again, he could bring anything at this point. Apparently, because on my Chaos Brain last week, I threw down the gauntlet and I said, I'm going to win next week. I'm going to win the next 3 matches. You watch me, I'll do it. And apparently he took that as a challenge. So, you know. We're going to see. Right, we're 5 minutes in. We need to get talking about the Pokemon. So we have got Dragonite. Dragonite was having a Lumberry this week. Now, haven't run the Lumberry Dragonite before, so hopefully this is something that might catch him off guard. I definitely expect he would go for Scald on Gastrodon over Ice Beam initially. Expecting me to potentially have Weakness Policy, because I've run Weakness Policy before. Probably will get the burn, because he is Hacks Maker. He gets all the hacks. So I've got the Lumberry there. Now, if I don't see, and there are specific ones I shouldn't see for this, if I don't see the Double, and I don't see the Archeops, and if I don't see the Gastrodons at 3 Mons, I go straight into Dragonite and straight Dragon Dance. And I should be able to easily get 2 Dragon Dancers up, and at 2 Dragon Dancers, I should be able to hit his team really hard. For the majority of Pokemon, most of them will get 1 hit KO'd. I think Umbreon gets 2 hit KO'd. Dubwool can come in, it can take 1 hit, and then it can set up a Cotton Guard, and it can take another couple of hits, and they can set up another Cotton Guard and rest, so it could be a problem for me potentially, but that's something that I've kind of had to consider. Gastrodon can just cause problems for me in general. It's actually a pretty good coverage for Dragonite, and Dragonite doesn't actually get any grass type attacks, or at least none that I really noticed he can use very well. Dragon Dance, hopefully I can get like 1 or 2 Dragon Dances out, but +1 kind of late game could definitely work, but +2 is going to be ideal. Thunder Punch, it hits the Togekiss, it hits the Archeops, and it hits the Urshifu really hard. I did want to go for a flying type attack, but I couldn't fit it on here. I could not fit all the moves that I needed on here. I did consider initially going for Choice Scarf and then Choice Band, but then I thought, no, Dragon Dance is too crucial in this matchup. We've got Fire Punch, which hits the Dragalge. Not the Dragalge, no, it doesn't hit the Dragalge, it hits the Escavalier, and also Double kind of for neutral, because it's probably going to be fluffy. So that's something that can happen. And then Earthquake just kind of covers the rest of things. So Victini, it hits really hard. Dragalge, it hits really hard. You've got, depending on what Silvally is, it could hit that hard. And then Gastrodon, I think it take at +2, it still takes 2 Earthquakes to knock it out. So, you know, it's a problem. So that's why I really don't want to see Gastrodon. Archeops, the reason I don't want to see it is because it can hit me with like a Head Smash, and if that's the lead, then I can only really get to +1 because he probably just goes straight off for a Head Smash. He might consider going for a Stealth Rocks in that scenario, but honestly, I don't really know. And then Double, as I said, it can be a problem for me. EVs, now for speed-wise, to get a +1, to outspeed not Scarfed Archeops, and I don't think he would Scarf Archeops, so I only have 1 Pokemon on my team that outspeeds it. So without Scarf Archeops, I outspeed it. So at +1, so I didn't need much speed investment here, which is why I've got 156. Adamant Nature for more attack power, and then HP, I've just put a little bit more into HP there, just so I can hopefully live another hit, possibly. We'll see kind of what happens in whatever scenario we get stuck in. Move on to Rotom Wash. Now I've gone for an offensive Rotom this week. We've got Leftovers, allowing us to heal ourselves up a little bit. If he gets a Trick Room set up, actually this helps a great deal, because Urshifu is not going to want to deal with us, honestly, in a Trick Room. We've got the Victini, probably doesn't want to deal with us. The Umbreon is annoying. Honestly, Umbreon could be a pain in our backside, but I've put Hydro Pump on here. That hits the Victini, it hits the Archeops, it hits the Silvally, Dubwool. Doesn't hit Gastrodon. Gastrodon doesn't get hit by either of my stabs because it's probably going to be Storm Drain. So I've gone for Shadow Ball. I had to go for Shadow Ball over Pain Split here. I did consider going Toxic, but then I thought I can't hit it with any of my other attacks. So it just really puts an issue, it puts issues in for me. I've gone for Nasty Plot because I think Nasty Plot, if I get in the right scenario, I could really use that. I could really use that to my advantage. Obviously, there are a couple of Pokemon that do outspeed me, like the Archeops, the Urshifu, and the Victini. But luckily, all 3 of those, and I think the Dubwool as well actually outspeeds me. But all 3 of the ones, barring Dubwool, 3 out of 4, I've got super effective damage on, so realistically they do not want to be in against me. The Urshifu could hit me really hard. It doesn't have any grass type attacks, so it would have to go for like a neutral attack, a close combat. I'm not sure if it takes me out. I have got a little bit of HP investment there, so I guess we'll see. But it could definitely be a problem with the Urshifu there. For Scarf Urshifu, I don't think it would be able to take us out. Yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts of Rotom. See if I can get a nasty plot up, and then just kind of go through his team with as many monsters as I can. Obviously, Escavalier could be a little bit of a problem here, but its special defense is 105 as well. So it depends if it's special or physically defensive. I think it's probably going to be defensive, and then try and set up. Hopefully we can get some damage on it, especially if we've got like a +2, possibly even a +4. I think a +4 we can actually do a lot of damage, but we will end up taking a lot of damage, which is why I want the Pain Split, but Gastrodon is just too much of a problem, and I don't have enough to deal with Gastrodon to not have this possibly be a one-on-one situation. So yeah. Moving on to Excadrill. Now Excadrill, I originally was running Sand. I was originally running Sand on the Azelf to set that up. I might do that in a future week, because I'll explain that at the end. Excadrill, Rapid Spin, Swords Dance, Earthquake, Iron Head. Earthquake, Iron Head kind of hits his team really hard. Victini, Earthquake, Togekiss, Iron Head. I've just had deja vu. Like, that is really weird. Now, the big problem is, and this is something that I was a bit like, Urshifu Rapid Strike. It gets Aqua Jet. Aqua Jet does up to 98% for me. Like, in the set that this is, it does up to 98%, which obviously is not good. That's if it's Choice Banded, which obviously is not good for me when I'm Life Orb. And I've just kind of decided that, you know, if the Urshifu comes in, the Urshifu comes in. An Earthquake does flat out take it out at +2. It does about 50 to 60% damage, assuming it's not like got defensive investment or stuff, just naturally. So hopefully that's something that we can possibly deal with. But I definitely know I can live a hit from the Urshifu on the Aqua Jet there. So, you know, we'll see what happens. If he doesn't bring the Urshifu, then I'm going to be shocked. I haven't actually like centered any plans around the Urshifu. I've just kind of got a couple of ideas that hopefully will work in this. But yeah, like all these attacks will hit hard onto the different Pokemon. I've got Mold Breaker. Now Mold Breaker, I don't think it affects anything except the Dub Wall with its Fluffy. But yeah, it's not going to worry too much about that. Obviously, Gastrodon again is a problem. Gastrodon is just a problem in general. It's really annoying to deal with, but yeah. EV investment, that is to outspeed the... What's it outspeed? I think it's outspeed the Togekiss. So outspeeding the Togekiss on our speed, and then at +1, we definitely outspeed everything else. Unless it's like the Scarf. Like if it's Scarf, like a Scarf Urshifu, then obviously it can definitely go for like Surging Strikes. In fact, it can just go for Surging Strikes if I haven't got a Rapid Spin up, so that would just flat take me out. Which, you know, is a problem, but we'll kind of get to that when we come to it, if we come to it. We'll see. But yeah, obviously Excadrill is not going to be designed to be dealing with Urshifu, unless it's in kind of a very specific scenario. I did originally have the Pasho Berry to deal with that, to take less damage, but I thought if it get hit with the Surging Strikes, it will only be for the first one, it won't be for the second and third hit. So, you know, it could be a problem. Yeah, that's definitely my thought there. Spiritomb. Spiritomb, again, a Pokemon that I think could put in some work here. I've got Burning Jealousy on here. Burning Jealousy hits the Escavalier for about 50% damage, 2 hits. And I think that was if it was maximum special defense, which is quite nice. I've got the Shadow Ball, which hits hard on things like the Victini. It hits hard on like quite a few of his team actually. Or like it does decent amount of damage. And we also have quite a bit of bulk naturally, allowing us to potentially live a few hits. Obviously I don't want to get hit with a Draco with this thing. This thing needs to live kind of for late match for me to be able to deal with a lot of different mons. Sucker Punch is also there, and that could definitely come to use like with the Victini. Like I can live a V-Create and then I can go for a Sucker Punch. If I've gone for like Shadow Ball, if I've got like 50%, 55% damage I think I needed, and then the Sucker Punch does the rest. Umbreon is obviously a problem here, but honestly I can see the Umbreon Not running many physical moves, probably run Toxic if it's going to run something, which obviously would be a problem for me, so I don't have anything to get rid of Toxic, so it is a concern, it is a potential concern, but we'll see kind of what happens as we go. Like, right, next one we have is Azelf. Azelf is going for a choice specs this week. I thought, screw it, we'll go for choice specs, we'll see what happens. Like, I did consider going for Expert Belt because it does have super effective damage on the majority of his team, and I just couldn't stick with it. So we've got Victini, Thunderbolt, Victini, we have Shadow Ball, Togekiss, we have Thunderbolt, Umbreon, we don't have any coverage for, so obviously that's not going to be a good switch in here, but we have got like Thunderbolt, Energy Ball, they can hit really hard with the choice specs. Dragalge, obviously Psyshock, it doesn't like those. Escavalier, you know, I really wish I had the opportunity to put Flamethrower on this, but again, I had 4 moves in Syndrome, I just couldn't find an extra move. So things like not Psyshock, Shadow Ball will probably be my option to go for there, possibly even Thunderbolt to try and get the paralysis, something like that. Archeops doesn't outspeed me unless it's Scarfed, which I honestly don't think it would be Scarfed. I think that would be weird for him to run Scarf to outspeed one Pokemon. But Thunderbolt hits really hard there. Urshifu, again, hitting really hard with the Psyshock. The Psyshock can really do a lot of damage to it. In fact, actually, I probably would go for Thunderbolt over Psyshock potentially. I had to decide between Psyshock and Psychic. Psyshock for the Dragalge because it goes defense and Dragalge's defense is less. Or Psychic for Urshifu where its special defense is lesser. I need to calculate how much a Choice Specs Thunderbolt does to the Urshifu. That's something I'm doing to calculate. Silvally, again, difficult to deal with. Double, its special defense is lowish. It's like 90, 80. So it's not something that I'm too worried about. And then Energy Ball for the Gastrodon, because honestly, I needed some coverage for it. And then, as I said, the last one, I kind of alluded to. Originally I had Alcremie here, and I realised Alcremie wasn't doing enough for the team. It switched on a few things, but then it also just got took out by a few things, so I thought I'll go for Rapidash here. I've got the Power Herb, allowing us to have Solar Blade. Now that can hit things like the Urshifu if we need to hit it. We can hit the main thing to hit is the Gastrodon. You've got Wild Charge for the Togekiss. We've obviously got Flash Fire for the Victini to give us an increase in our Fire type moves. Flare Blitz, which just hits the Escavalier really hard. In fact, I think it just takes it out. Double, you know, Flare Blitz, it's not going to like that. So yeah, kind of that was my thought process. Wild Charge to do things with Togekiss, High Horsepower to hit the Victini. I think it's a 2-hit KO with Victini annoyingly, and then the Dragalge, again, I think it's possibly a 2-hit KO, but obviously Dragalge gets like Surf, so I want to have it weakened before I properly come in. Yeah, that's kind of my thought process with this team. I'm still not 100% convinced, if I'm honest. I think I'm missing something really obvious here. That I'm missing something, and I just couldn't figure it out. So I'm going to try my best, going to see what happens. This match does actually matter. Well, theoretically it does matter. Basically, if I lose this match, I have no chance of getting in playoffs. And, you know, that's not the worst thing in the world. Honestly, it probably would be a bit better for me if I wasn't in playoffs, because I have another league starting up soon. In fact, I might have done the draft analysis for that one already, possibly. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything yet because I don't know when draft analysis is going live. But yeah, you've got that. I've also got like other series going on the channels. The week that I would have the week after the week 10 battle, which is what it would be, I would have you have the new Pokemon Snap coming out, so having a couple of days to kind of stream that or to put that out is also going to be really helpful. So that's kind of my thought process on why I don't necessarily need to be in playoffs. I'm happy with where I'm at. Obviously, I've had a really hard run, honestly. So in the document we have strength of schedules, and basically the higher the strength of schedule, the more difficult your play was, or more difficult your games were. And then we have someone that's at flat 10, which obviously 10's the highest, and that sucks for them. They had a real tough time with that one. We've got another guy who has 8.37. Again, someone who is quite low, or who's lowest in the division. And then The third person is me, with I think 7.37 currently. Only just. There's someone with 7.36, I think, or very close by. It's like 0.2, 0.3 or something. There's a difference. Or 0.03, I think. But yeah, so I have had a really difficult time. Obviously, I've versed the top seeds in both divisions. I battled Hef, and Hef, I don't think I've ever won against. So, you know, I have had a bit of a difficult run. My first two, I was really rusty as well. So, you know, that was a problem. I'm not making excuses for things. Obviously, I haven't been playing my best in a lot of these battles. Tonight, I'm not playing my best. I can guarantee that, and I'll explain it probably at the start of the video. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we do something. We don't just get swept. I would quite like to just, you know, do some damage and actually make a couple of good plays. In this scenario, it is going to be, I'm going to have to make some good predictions, and also he's going to have to make some poor predictions. So it's definitely, that's how it's going to have to be. Like, yeah, this team, it can be really difficult to get through. Obviously, like, Rotom Wash is definitely a really good mon here. It can deal with a lot of problems, but we'll kind of see what happens. We'll see what happens, but yeah. That's going to be all for today, so I hope you've enjoyed this. Sorry about that little rant at the end. I was just trying to kind of explain some things, but yeah, that's all for today. Hope you've enjoyed this. Please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm out of here. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon.